much. I get why people are so callous and show indifference to life when it's when it's like a bunch of billionaires engaging in like the dumbest thing.
Underwater drone brought in to cut the netting and free it. All 7 crew members made it safely to the surface 2 days later. But they were stuck under just a few hundred feet of water compared to the Titan's 13,000. To cut the craft free, rescuers will first have to find it, and sonar is not good at distinguishing the sub from the wreckage of the Titanic scattered around it. And even if it can be cut free, the Titan will still have to make it back to the surface on its own, because transferring the crew to another vessel at that depth is impossible. After the submersible suddenly stopped communicating with no explanation, a catastrophic implosion of the vessel has become a leading theory. G. Michael Harris, an experienced Titanic explorer, fears that is exactly what happened, 10,000 feet down, where the pressure is 350 times greater than at the surface. When a submarine's hull fails at depth, the pressure of the ocean will almost instantly crush it and anyone inside. Even a small fault in the carbon fiber and titanium hull could have caused the accident, and Titan's 3 previous voyages were cancelled over fears of structural fatigue. Owners OceanGate said the vessel, which features many homemade components such as hardware store washers, had been repaired since and was equipped with a sophisticated system to monitor for any problems in the hull. But if an issue had suddenly occurred deep underwater, it is doubtful the crew could have done anything in time to save themselves. Just such an incident occurred in 2017 when the Argentinian Navy submarine ARA San Juan went missing in the San Jorge Gulf. The wreck was only located a year later, scattered deep down on the seabed. It is not known exactly what caused the accident, but it is thought an electrical failure caused it to dive beyond its crush depth, causing an implosion, killing all 44 people on board. If that is what happened to the Titan, then the crew would have been killed instantly. Another possibility is a fire on board, perhaps.
Why is this such a big thing? Here's what a vacuum implosion looks like. So it's a big thing because rich people are very important. And this is rich people activity, okay? And they did that. They went on a submarine journey. I think it's like, what, 250,000 per head or something crazy like that. They went down into the depths, into the fucking Titanic to see what was going on down there, I guess. And ultimately, it was a disaster. It's like this kind of stuff is I guess entertaining and scary for people. Hold on. And his stepson is going bananas mode on Twitter. Yeah, I heard. I saw some of the stuff, but I don't really understand. I mean, there's like people that were also diving with them. You know what I mean? The viewport that lets passengers see outside the craft was only certified to work in depths of up to 1,300 meters. That is far less than would be necessary for trips to the Titanic, which is nearly 4,000 meters below the ocean's surface. If a song goes to Tokyo, it's okay. If a couple dudes just want to explore the remains of the Titanic, then it's a problem. I just don't understand how like this wasn't something that they accounted for. Like, this is what they do. Craziest part about this is the Titanic fandom. CBS News interviewed this lady a few years ago who cashed in her life savings to go down there. She even went through 3 canceled trips or some shit was commonplace. Scrub launches. That's wild. Hold on. Assume the position. Good one. James Cameron did this trip 33 times. Yeah, James Cameron is like an experienced diver. An awesome TikTok about the situation.
With these billionaires in these fucking tubes, huh? We got a fucking billionaire or other rich people in a tube, a sealed tube. Look, because they want to see the Titanic. You can just fucking rent it on VHS. It's a 2 cassette VHS tape, my dude. These fucking billionaires got in a fucking tube to go look. They paid $250,000 each. $250,000. Some of you don't understand the concept of that amount of money. That is an okay house in Ohio. That's how much they just paid. They handed a guy, and they got inside of a fucking tube. I cannot stress to you how they're like, it's a submarine. It's a submersible. It's a fucking tube. It's a sealed tube. It's riveted shut. You cannot open it from the inside. It has no windows. There is one button, and there's a screen. You're not even looking at the Titanic with your own eyes. You're looking at a screen that has the camera pointed at the Titanic. And the guy running the company is so fucking dumb that he didn't even think to just fake going to the Titanic. You want to get $250,000? $250,000 from a billionaire. First thing, have a tube. Remember Elon? Remember Elon and his submarine idea to get those kids out of the cave in Thailand? You know, when he called the guy a pedo? That whole fucking thing? Elon's smart idea, by the way, tube. Jeff Bezos, we're gonna go to space. He built a tube. It's all tubes with these people. Every billionaire is obsessed with tubes. So if you want to rip off a billionaire, here's what you do. Hey man, we're gonna go to the Titanic. Oh, that's great. Hop in my tube. Ah, no, there's no windows, but you can watch the TV screen. Lower it down, like just under the water. And make sure it jiggles. Oh, run into some undersea turbulence.
Okay, normally I feel like he yells a lot. And you know, his commentary is fine, but this video, or especially like this video, or especially the takes specifically revolving around the tube being lowered to a certain degree and then like faking it like you've actually gone down into the Titanic, I think is a great take. Like, why didn't they just lie?
We are inside the submersible Titan, which is a carbon fiber and titanium sub that can go to the depths of the Titanic.
Just fucking lie.
Turn the fucking screen on. Play the beginning of fucking Titanic. Pull it back up. And go, there you go. There you go, billionaire. You saw the fucking Titanic. And here's the thing about billionaires. Nobody fucking tells them no. Everybody says they're so fucking smart because billionaires just fucking drop money around them all day. The only time they care about the money when they're dropping fucking everywhere like idiots is when it goes to taxes to help us. So now they spend $250,000 fucking dollars to get into a fucking tube, and now we have to spend millions of dollars on our fucking navies of 2 nations to look for these goddamn idiots who just should have watched a VHS tape that was okay from a movie that is so old that fucking Leonardo DiCaprio wouldn't date it.
I want him to be found because I need to know if they succumb to cannibalism. I mean, they're dead. Like, it would be legitimately shocking if they were alive by the time they find it, if they even find it at all.
Hi, my name is Stockton Rush. I'm the CEO and founder of OceanGate. Let's take a look at Titan. So we're coming into the sub. This is...
My friend in Turkey just bought that controller a couple months back because it's cheap. That should say a lot of other safety protocols. Yeah, these motherfuckers were using like the cheapest Logitech controller they can. Like, I think using controllers of that sort is normal process for a lot of this shit. Which is, I guess, surprising, but hold on. But I don't know. I trust Logitech. The controller did not fail. Anyone blaming the controller is not a true gamer. True. But they're usually wired. They use the unwired. Yeah, that's... Xbox controls are pretty popular. They detected banging as of an hour ago. Maybe they brought AAA batteries with them instead of AA batteries. Why can't I watch the video? I mean, yeah, the search mission is still going. I mean, they're fucking billionaires. Of course it's still going. These are like the most untouchable people in society. You know what I mean? These are the people that are not supposed to die, right? These are the people that are not supposed to have these kinds of issues. I mean, if you're dropping 250 bills to go fucking down there and see the goddamn Titanic and then, you know, this kind of shit happens is a bit wild. So, Michael Gillan was the first correspondent report live from the wreck of Titanic, but his recall of the vessel he was on nearly ended up trapped. Dr. Gillan was working as a science editor for America's ABC network. He told BBC4 Radio how they toured the bow where everything had gone well. So people have talked about their experiences here. Let's watch this like promotional video from this.
This is the only toilet available on a deep diving submersible. Best seat in the house. You can look out the viewport. We put a privacy screen in, turn up the music, and it's very popular. We have our control screen here, our sonar screen here, and we can put any image we want in the back. We've taken a completely new approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller and these touch screens. So if you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you go back. Turn left, turn right, go down, go up. And it's Bluetooth, so I can hand it to anybody. And it's meant for a 16-year-old to throw it around, and super durable. We keep a couple of spares on board just in case.
Well, I mean, okay, that's a bit crazy. Like, you watched that and you were like, this is my shit.
It has not been approved or certified by any
Death by Joy-Con drift. I mean, this is crazy.
Our sonar screen here, and we can put any image we want in the back. We've taken a completely new approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller and these touch screens. So if you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you go back. Turn left, turn right, go down, go up. And it's Bluetooth, so I can hand it to anybody. And it's meant for a 16-year-old to throw it around, and super durable. We keep a couple of spares on board just in case. This is the second year we've been out to the Titanic. We went out in 5 8-day missions. We did about 10 dives to the wreck site of the Titanic, and we did an extra dive on an undiscovered reef that we found. Completely privately funded operation, and we're funded by, we call mission specialists who help support the mission. So they take quite a bit of money to come and join us. Years ago, the Russians took tourists out to the Titanic, and it was just sort of a look and see thing. We really are focusing on the science around it.
So
we want to document
definitely
what the wreck is like now, and also try to predict what it'll be like in the future. It's continuing to decay, and it seems to be accelerating. It's being eaten by a bacteria, so it's literally being eaten by the ocean. It's not rusting away. So these things that are called rusticles are actually the byproduct of a bacteria that eats the iron. And as it does that, these decks are collapsing. The promenade deck continues to collapse forward. We saw some of the railing is starting to lose its structural strength, which is really a sad thing. That's when it's going to stop looking like the Titanic.
Dude, how do you start a business where you're like, there's a market for this. There's a market for just like really wealthy people that have enough money to go down to the depths and like, you know, go see the motherfucking Titanic. And it's like, it's enough. Like you can make you can make enough money doing this. I guess part of the reason why you can make enough money doing this is because, you know, you don't have the best safety protocols, right? But like who even begins this process? Like how do you begin the process of being like, here's what my business The clip is from this video, by the way. Yeah, we're gonna watch the full clip. Hold on. There's also another side to this, obviously, because this isn't the first or last shipwreck that has happened this week. There are a lot of people who, you know, there was another issue that occurred. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me finish this video.
The interest in the Titanic is the reason we go there, because people are willing to fund this kind of exploration and science, and that gives a completely different research component that almost nowhere else in the deep ocean can you get funding to go back every year for decades and see how coral reefs develop and see how metals decay and see how currents change. I mean, that just, you can't justify that. No government will pay for that. Nobody wants to go back to just some old reef, but people do want to go back to the Titanic, and that's why we go, is because people want to go.
Here.
Definitely heard about the missing small submersible that had a bunch of rich people inside, a billionaire, a Pakistani multimillionaire, the CEO, the Pakistani multimillionaire's son, and I think there was one, I think it's 5 guys, and the guy who was like piloting it. And look, it's been a huge thing on the internet about like people joking about it, including myself, but not even talking about that right now. Just something that I want to say about it, which is the following. It is not lost on me that people will pull out a scalpel to make the most razor-thin distinctions on what is acceptable to say about it, like how callous people are being or how they're joking about it, in regards to some of the richest people on the planet effectively killing themselves like morons, but will give absolutely no grace or will not pause when talking about the experiences and problems and troubles and struggles of people that live in poverty, right? Last week, and this is just an example, last week off of the Greek coast in the Mediterranean, there was a capsized ship with over 500, somewhere in the ballpark, 500, 700 refugees. The exact number is not known. Over 500 of them are presumed to have drowned, men, women, and children. refugees from Palestine, from Egypt, from places in North Africa, right? They are poor people at the very end of their rope with no other possibilities, who are just trying to survive. They want a better life for themselves and their families, and they have to risk it all. Could you tell me that happened? Was there a second of coverage on that, of over 500 people drowning, human beings? No. It has been...
Yeah, someone in the chat pointed this out, but it's a really good take. Same people that say homeless people are like drug-addled zombies completely fucking forget that, you know, rich people do drugs too, like all the fucking time, as a matter of fact. But when they're doing it from the comfort of their homes. You know, when they are addicted to drugs, it's not in your face. It's not as like, you know, it's not as disruptive, I guess. It's our perception of the matter. People immediately want to rush to be like, I have a principled stance on, you know, billionaires being spoken about like this, but they make no mention of atrocities that poor people face to get a better to get a better life for themselves, who are seeking a better future for themselves. Ultimately, I don't care about the fucking billionaire submarine situation. I didn't really cover it that much. I get why people are so callous and show indifference to life when it's when it's like a bunch of billionaires engaging in like the dumbest thing possible. You know what it reminds me of? This situation reminds me of a lot of people trying to tackle Mount Everest. Also a profoundly expensive endeavor. You have a Sherpa that basically holds your hand the entire fucking way, and yet people die all the goddamn time. And it's just like most people who are inexperienced, who are just going up there for a fucking photo. You know what I mean? Not talking about like experienced climbers who do this kind of thing. I'm talking about people who want to conquer the mountain. You know what I mean? Take a photo and basically showcase their accomplishments. You're just, I don't know, you're just fucking, like it's hard to look at how awful the world is and look at your own personal circumstances and then look to profoundly wealthy, profoundly fortunate people and recognize their humanity when they are objectively taking risks that are ridiculous. Obviously, opportunities that are completely unaffordable and completely shut off to the average person who would never even imagine themselves in a situation like that. And that's where the lack of humanity comes from. That's where people have a hard time recognizing the humanity of like these profoundly wealthy individuals. Cardi B submarine sun tape.
That's missing on the water from that submarine shit. One of the billionaires, their stepson, is at a concert, right? At a Blink 182 concert. And people is like, well, what is he supposed to do? Be sad at the house? Is he supposed to go look for himself? Yes. You're supposed to be at the house sad. You're supposed to be crying for me. You're supposed to be right next to the phone waiting to hear any updates about me. You're supposed to be counseling your mom and shit. Like, isn't it sad that you a whole fucking billionaire and nobody gives a fuck about you? Like you missing and motherfuckers ready to shake dicks at concert. That's crazy. I'd rather be broke. I'd rather be broke than like and poor, but knowing that I'm loved. Like, okay, so one of
There's so much going on here with this Attack on Titan filter. Like what the fuck is happening? Why is the Attack on Titan filter cupping her titty?